Okay. Well, I just had to do a bit of a switcheroo here with the with my mic, but it looks like we are on. Thank you for your patience, everyone. Again, good evening. Hello and welcome. I am Natasha Tomlinson, Phoenix area realtor since 2005. Tonight, we're diving into something most homeowners don't hear enough about: the economic expansion happening across the greater Phoenix metro area. So, we'll talk about what is new in 2026 and what that means for your home value, your equity, and ultimately your timing. I recently attended the Economic Commercial Forum. It was hosted by GPEC, the Greater Phoenix Economic Council. So tonight, I want to take the opportunity here to break down the biggest takeaways in plain English. I'll do my best, and how they impact you as a homeowner, how they impact real estate. No pressure, just clarity. So, who is this webinar for? Who does this help? Well, this is especially helpful if you have owned your home for 10 years or more, if you are thinking about selling in the next 1 to 5 years, let's say, if you currently own rental property, or if you are downsizing or relocating, or really you just want an idea of where Phoenix is heading. This webinar tonight will help you, because real estate isn't driven by just headlines. It's driven by jobs, by population growth, and by infrastructure. So let's start with who's behind the data. And what we're going to do here is, behind the scenes, I want to take a moment and change this, because who wants to look at me this whole time? Really, let's change this out. Let's change this out. Make sure we include a bit of a slideshow about the market. Yes, I like that better. No one wants to stare at my forehead. Let's see what's happening here. I'll do my best to change this out throughout tonight's presentation. But what this will show you just very quickly is, on the side here, you can see which areas are in a slight seller's advantage, maybe a buyer's advantage, or a strong seller's advantage. And this is just a snapshot, really, here of the median list price per square foot. Here's the city listed over here, average days on market, and whether we're seeing more price reductions or price increases, and the amount of homes for sale in that area. And that would be single family detached homes. All right, back to tonight's presentation. All right, we'll start with who's behind the data, right, that we're discussing tonight. And that is GPEC. All right, not sure if you've heard of them before. That is the Greater Phoenix Economic Council. And GPEC is the regional economic development organization responsible for supporting business expansion and positioning Greater Phoenix globally and attracting major employers. Their reach includes 22 cities and towns across Maricopa and Pinal County. So here's a huge stat. The major takeaway, I think, is that Greater Phoenix represents over 78% of Arizona's total economy. One of the most important updates from this year's forum: the inbound migration is getting younger. Traditionally, over the years, Arizona, Scottsdale and Mesa and Sun City, Sun Lakes, typically we were place where people came to retire, right? To enjoy the fruits of their labor. And what we're seeing is that our overall population is becoming younger and younger. The about 38% of our inbound migration in 2024 were between ages 18 and 44. So that age range is prime for first-time home buyers, your move up buyer, rent to own, seller financing, and really workforce formation. Here's where they're coming from. Now, I'm sure you know, have an idea where one of those states is California, right? So some of the others, Washington State, New York, right? Oregon, Nevada, Florida, Texas, Illinois, yes, Colorado, and Utah. We're seeing a lot of inbound migration from those areas. And this matters because younger migration fuels rental demand, housing demand, and long-term appreciation. Here are some of the major expansions happening right now. And really, it's all over town that we're seeing job growth. So let's be aware of that. Amkor. Amkor is bringing 2,000 jobs to Peoria. Intel is bringing 3,000 jobs to Chandler. Dutch Brothers, their main hub, is bringing 300 jobs to Tempe. LG Energy, 2,800, jobs with LG Energy in Queen Creek. The Mayo Clinic expansion is bringing 3,500 jobs in the North Phoenix area. And then, of course, we have TSMC, projected right now to bring 4,500 jobs to North Phoenix, Northwest Phoenix, and growing. These are ecosystem builders. They are game changers. They are changing the demographics of our area. These are not short-term projects. We're also seeing relocations and expansions from a number of major players like Apex Power, Intel, as we mentioned before, ASML, TSMC, Lego, NXP, Cyclical Materials, and DSV Logistics, just to name a few. This signals something pretty important. Phoenix isn't up and coming anymore. Phoenix Metro is established and scaling. One of the lesser known but very important updates, Arizona passed HB 4026. Okay, yes, HB 4026, which focuses on public infrastructure investment. This bill supports roads and transportation, water infrastructure, utility expansion, and overall growth. Yes, one-man band here, so just trying to keep things flowing here. Why does this matter? And why does this matter for homeowners? You know, infrastructure, it drives commercial expansion, property values, and new housing development, especially in the West Valley and in Pinal County, where in the next 10 years, we can see the most growth. From the forum discussions, you know, here's why companies continue to choose Arizona, right? Because everyone's like, okay, there's so many places. Why Arizona exactly? Why are they coming here, right? Don't we have, how many people can we really support here in Arizona? What's the big draw? And the draw is a stable climate and a stable business environment. I don't know how many years you have been here, but have you felt any earthquakes or had any hurricanes here lately? We don't have, up north gets snow, but Phoenix Metro, we have a weak monsoon season, right? Overall, in recent years, we really haven't seen much from the monsoon. And so things are pretty stable as far as our climate is concerned, which is a huge draw for many employers, especially those in the semiconductor industry and the like. There's also resources here and land availability. We have room to build, especially in the West Valley and especially in Pinal County, which many older metropolitan areas don't have anymore. They'd have to tear down something in order to rebuild it, and that can be rather costly. Logistics advantage. Strong distribution positioning in the Southwest region, in our region. And then we have, a good entrepreneurial culture. We're business friendly. Arizona has always been business friendly and innovation driven. So now we also have a mobile and diverse workforce, especially in the younger inbound migration, which is increasing. So, another big takeaway is focusing heavily on future forward sectors. So, we can expect growth in many areas, such as aerospace, bioscience, and healthcare. We can expect growth in the artificial intelligence and quantum computing industry, in national security innovation, in startup ecosystems and development, in electric vertical aircraft. I don't know if you had the opportunity to go to Barrett Jackson this year. It was last month, but man, oh man, the Jetsons are here. They had a single manned prototype, basically a one-man aircraft that is scheduled to be unveiled mid to late 2027. And I don't know about you, but I think that is incredible, and I'm excited to see it. So here's a stat many homeowners find pretty surprising. The greater Phoenix area's cost of living is about 3.3% above the national average. Compared to major metropolitan areas, we're still pretty affordable. Okay. Many inbound movers are coming from places like New York, San Francisco, LA, Seattle, Boston, Portland, San Diego, Denver. So while locals, those of us that have been here a few decades, we may feel costs rising, those moving here from other areas, they see value. And that supports an ongoing, steady housing demand. Another key advantage is the workforce development. A major contributor is the Maricopa County Community College District. This system plays a huge role, not only in educating our workforce, but in technical training, healthcare training, skilled trades, semiconductor workforce pipelines, and just the overall betterment of our workforce. This development, this training, it ensures companies moving here can actually hire locally, which is a savings and sustains our growth. So let's zoom out. Okay, take a look back to the 1950s. 1950, the greater Phoenix population was about 215,000, right? Fast forward to 2004, and greater Phoenix population is 5.2 million. By 2034, we are projected to be at 6.1 million. And the biggest growth, the biggest areas, with more development is expected to be in the West Valley and in Pinal County. So, what does this mean for homeowners today? What does this all mean for you, right? Arizona homeowner. Economic growth typically leads to a strong rental demand, steady rental demand, let's say, rising land values, infrastructure expansion, and long-term housing demand. Many people are interested in flipping and sort of a short-term gain. This is the folks who buy and hold win. They win in real estate in general. And in this market, it is wise to have that mindset. But growth isn't always evenly distributed. Some areas boom, some plateau, some bust. which creates opportunity and timing decisions. If you're a homeowner, clarity is everything. You don't have one way to sell, you have multiple paths. One path is traditional sales, and that would be going the route of the VA, FHA, USDA, and conventional loan. Yes. Another option is the cash offers. You may have seen the ads and billboards around town. These allow for faster closings and a lot of time fewer contingencies, right? Sometimes inspections are waived. You don't have appraisals. You don't have a bunch of document reviews. So things tend to move faster. Just depends on what is important to you. Top dollar over a quicker transaction. Then there are also creative options, such as an owner carryback. What is old is new again, where the seller becomes the lender in that case, or a lease purchase, rent to own sort of scenario. Every seller situation is different. My role is helping you understand the options available to you. Now, remember, I am not a CPA. I am not a tax advisor. I am not a financial advisor. So always consult with those professionals regarding capital gains, 1031s exchanges, and other financial planning. So I'm also not a lender. So mortgage guidance should come from a licensed loan professional, of which I know a few that have very skilled and experienced, and I'm happy to refer. My focus and my purpose is strategy and real estate timing. Here's the biggest takeaway from this meeting with GPEC. Greater Phoenix is in a long-term expansion cycle, but growth creates decisions. And smart homeowners don't wait until they're forced to make a decision. If you're even thinking about selling in the next 1 to 5 years, I offer a free strategy session where we map out your home's value, your equity position, timing scenarios. We do a custom roadmap and review your selling options. No pressure, just clarity. If you'd like that, I'll drop a link in the chat. You can see it in the description. And I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for joining me here tonight. And I'm happy and available for any questions that you may have.